crisis of deep human suffering is in plain sight, and there's no time to waste. We have to act, and we have to act now.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Let's do a quick update on the $2,000 stimulus check. We have heard over and over again from the incoming Biden administration that they want to get the third stimulus check, the $1,400 stimulus check, out as quickly as possible. But realistically, how quickly can they really get it out? Let's get into it. But first, guys, as always, before we get started, do me a favor. Thumbs up this video so we can help more people watch it. And also subscribe so you don't miss any of our next videos. Thanks. For starters, not so fast. If they really wanted to get this money out as quickly as possible, they could have done it in a single bill. Just like the $2,000 stimulus bill that passed the House just before the holidays. But now, for whatever reason, they decided to include it in the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. Since the details of the next stimulus package came out last week, the president-elect and his team have already been called out by Congresswoman AOC and Bernie Sanders on the $1,400 third stimulus check. They said $1,400 wasn't what you promised. You promised the people $2,000 and you need to deliver on that. What the new administration is trying to do, they said the $600 you just received was a down payment on the $2,000 stimulus check. So now since you just received $600, all they have to do is give you the difference, which is $1,400.
So, Congress has already passed over the last year, approved more than $4 trillion in COVID relief. You are now asking, the president-elect is now asking for another $1.9 trillion in COVID relief. Do you really need all that money?
Well, we start from where the economy is today. And the truth is we're at a very precarious moment. We lost jobs last month for the first time since the spring. Last week, nearly 1 million Americans filed for unemployment insurance, which is higher than any week during the Great Recession. And last week, 30 million Americans reported that they didn't have enough food to eat. So we've got an acute economic crisis and human crisis, and we need decisive action. And so that's really what the President-elect's plan is about. It's about targeting the core issues that we know we need to tackle. We need to get shots in people's arms to get the pandemic under control. We need to get schools open so that parents can get back to work. And we need to get relief out to those millions of families, millions of businesses who, through no fault of their own, are continuing to suffer, and the economy and the virus are spiraling downwards. So now's the time to act. We know that this is going to take a lot of work, but we're ready to do it. And as you saw, the president-elect's making the case that now is the time to move forward.
But realistically, when can you expect to see that $1,400 or $2,000 stimulus check? Well, we only have the outline of the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. This bill has to be negotiated, passed by both houses of Congress, and eventually signed by the new president. Guys, this is the third week of January. I don't see this bill come through at the earliest end of February, early March. We already heard from some Republicans who stated that this bill includes too many non-related COVID stuff, so they won't vote for it. The bill will pass the House, probably as is, but when it comes to the Senate, it's a different story.
Let's drill down on specific parts of the package. You are calling for another $1,400 direct payment to the vast majority of Americans. There's criticism. Why not target it just to those people who've actually lost a job? There are a lot of people who'll get the $1,400 on top of the $600 who've been doing just fine and haven't been hit by COVID. And then there is criticism from conservatives that you have snuck in a liberal wish list into this package. Let me put some items on the screen. $20 billion for public transit, $9 billion for cybersecurity, raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Whether those last items, Brian, are a good policy idea or not, can you really say that they are part of emergency COVID relief? Plan A is to get this package through the Senate with 60 votes to beat a filibuster. But You had Republican senators under President Trump who were refusing to go over $1 trillion. They ended up passing $900 billion. Do you really expect 10 Republican senators to sign on to another $2 trillion?
Well, I do want to start with reinforcing the urgency point that you raised. You looked just over the weekend, an independent firm, Moody's, showed that if we act immediately, this plan and put it in place, the economy could create 7.5 million jobs this year. That's the kind of robust recovery that we need. And if you look at the components of the plan, you mentioned the $1,400 checks. We've seen broad bipartisan support from that, including Republican senators. You look at other elements of the plan, like an expanded child tax credit, something that Republican senators have supported in the past. And if you look at the vaccination efforts and the school efforts here, we've been talking to governors and mayors across the country, including Governor Hutchinson, who was just on, Republicans and Democrats who say we absolutely need to try to surge support in this critical period of the next couple months to get the virus under control, to get those schools open, help parents get back to work, particularly women who are facing a disproportionate hit here. I think there's a lot of support for taking these actions. So we see every reason why Congress should move out in a bipartisan way.
Yeah, of course, as you know as well as I do, should doesn't always mean it happens. President-elect Biden has kept open the possibility of ending the filibuster if Republicans were to block you. You have 50 votes, but you need 60 to break a filibuster. If they block you, would ending the filibuster, so you could pass it with 51 votes with Vice President Harris, would ending the filibuster be on the table?
Well, look, we think we need to move quickly here.
They can pass it in the Senate with a simple majority. But since this is a new administration, they may not want to do that. In Washington, as quickly as possible means 2-3 months. I don't see this bill being completed, negotiated on, voted on by both houses of Congress and signed by the president before the first week of March. Hopefully, I'm wrong. The next administration, the new incoming Biden administration, takes office on Wednesday, less than 48 hours from now. If anything else comes up, I'll bring it to you as quickly as I can. Thank you again for watching. If this is your first time here, my name is Paul with Sunset Royalty. And if you made it this far, please subscribe so you don't miss any of our next videos. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.